Okay, we've got the M1941 Johnson here. We're just doing a disassembly video today and reassembly at the end, depending on how much time we have. But this is basically a very interesting design. Anybody's familiar with it. It's got a it's pretty rare, and it's got a pretty interesting history. It did serve some time with the Marine Corps during World War II with the Paramarines and Marine Raiders, but by and large it saw limited use. It was never officially adopted by the U.S. military. Thank you, U.S. Army Ordnance. Other than that, like I said, we won't go over any of the history right now. I'll save that for a later date. We might maybe mention a few things as we're doing this process, but anyway, let's get started. First things first. Weapons clear. And we're going to take off the barrel first. If you look right here, there's a little hole. Looks like a screw hole for maybe holding the foreguard on, but it's not. It's actually a pin. We're going to need a couple of these cartridges here. And there's a pin in there that releases a little lever down underneath here. And that's actually the spring that relocates the barrel after it's been discharged. So this is a blowback design, by the way. Anyway, there's that. Now let's get the receiver apart. First things first, we got to take off what we call the, I believe it's called the bolt stop cover. And sometimes it comes off easy enough. Yep, there we go. And the actual bolt stop itself. If you look down in here, you can see a little plunger. And what we're going to do is take this out. Right now, we should be able to move the bolt out, but we have to do one. We have one more thing we have to do first. We have to take out the operating rod and the extractor, which are located right there. Now this comes out by pulling this little pin out. But this is a brand new, I broke the extractor probably after about 200-300 rounds. A friend of mine who wasn't familiar with the rifle, so it's my bad that he didn't know better, but he broke it, and this is a fresh spring and it's really tight and really a pain to get out. Maybe this is the way it should be, and maybe that other one, because it was so easy to take apart, was a sign that there was a problem pending. Anyway, let's get this guy out. I usually like to block this up front here, and I take this and usually pull the pin. There we go. Okay, that's good. There, came out. See, easy enough. Extractor, bolt. Now be careful with this. There's a couple of small parts that we could lose if we're not careful. Set this off to the side. If you look, as we take this apart, these are rollers that operate up in the upper part of the receiver. They come apart. There's this little cover that pops off the. You have to be careful if you don't lose that. Anyway, we'll set these apart now. Now we're going to take off the trigger group with the butt assembly. And in here is a little pin. It's locked into place. Oops. There. Okay. And then this should just slide apart. See? Easy access to all the stuff you need to clean and take care of. Again, this is a field strip, not a full takedown. And you can access everything up inside of here to get at too. Granted, you could have a case where you might need to get in it. That's a whole nother step. It's a little more involved, but for field stripping, this is all you need to really do. I believe in the field, if you had sand or dirt in there, it'd be easy enough to get out of there, but you probably don't want to tackle this unless you really got problems. Anyway, there you go. Hope you enjoyed. Thought you all might like to see this. This is the bolt. mean, this is the barrel and the chamber right here, and here's the bolt. And for those of you that might have taken some dismay to my comments about the M16 earlier, I just want you to look at this. This is actually kind of interesting. I think I've got these oriented correctly, but that's how it goes in a battery, just like that. As it goes forward, actually what happens is when the rifle recoils, as it pushes back, the bearings cause the bolt to rotate like this. And when it reaches a certain point where the barrel stops, this keeps going from the blowback. Skims off another round, slides into place. You can see the little ramp right down here. I thought that was kind of interesting. What a cool design when you think about it. Anyway, just thought I'd throw that in at the end there, just see if you got a kick out of it like I did. Okay, let's do the bolt assembly here. As I said, there's a couple of little parts, little tricky things you have to be careful of, and that's the firing pin here needs to fit all the way in. You need to make sure you have this all the way inside here. Otherwise, it's not too happy. And if you notice, there's a little ridge right here, inside here. And you'll see this little cavity here on this retaining block. Most people would think that that's supposed to hold that in place, but that'll have the firing pin too far forward. It actually needs to be like this, with nothing there. Then take this, and it slides right up into here, just like this. And there, your bolt assembly is ready to be put back in. But be careful, you need to kind of have 3 hands to do it. Okay, we're going to reassemble now. I've actually pre-positioned the bolt inside the receiver, pushed it all the way forward so it's out of the way. Now I'm going to try and join these two. This pin I was telling you about, this goes right in there. Locks into place. Done. Now the plunger, that's going to go in here, but we don't really need, we need to, actually before we do that, we need to put the bolt charging handle and the extractor in place. I don't know if I can see that well or not, but we'll give it a shot. Again, it's kind of a pain in the butt. It's a new extractor pin. The first one was really loose, and that's probably why a sign that it was going to break and fail the way it did. But that's been the only issue that I've had with this rifle after 200 rounds through the barrel. So, there you go. It's in position. I positioned the hole right there. So you should be able to see that pretty good there. Yeah, there you go. Let's see if we can get this thing on in one try. It's a pain in the butt, like I said, but this is the way they did it for some reason or another. Spring tension on the extractor is really tight. Okay, there we go. Okay, now she's in place. I'm going to put this into the buffer. And just hold them back correctly. Okay, now back to this point. These are the bolt stops we're going to put back in here. This one first. And then this guy here should just snap into place. So push that pin in. There. Now, the barrel. Got to release that pin and snap back into place. There. There, rifle's in place. Now we just have to working good. Looks good. There you go. That's how you assemble, disassemble, and assemble 1941 Johnson. Yes, it's kind of a pain in the butt, but like I said, I figure I'll get used to it after a bit.